Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking all about my unit where I'm working as a new grad. I know this has been such a long-awaited video, and I've kind of briefly explained this on my Instagram, why I haven't talked about what unit I'm on, why I haven't talked about, specifically what unit I'm on. I know it's been a while since I've been posting both on YouTube and on Instagram. It's been a struggle. If you guys don't know, the reason why I haven't talked about what unit I'm on is because I was originally hired onto one unit, and then while I was in that unit, I realized, me and my educator just both realized that it just wasn't the place for a new grad. Yeah, so while I was in the process of getting moved, COVID happened, so it was kind of pushed back. So I ended up staying on that unit for, I think it was 5 weeks. And then I got a call during the weekend, and then I got a new unit, and that was, I think it was 3 weeks ago. Honestly, you guys, like, time has been just all over the place for me. I have been all over the place. Changing units on top of this COVID stuff happening, on top of it being 5 weeks into my orientation, my internship, and being on the unit that I am now has been absolutely insane. And I have just not been in a good, like, mental space, I guess, because I've been so incredibly overwhelmed. So let's just, you know what, let's get started. So the unit that I originally was hired onto was inpatient rehab. If you guys don't know what inpatient rehab is, it's basically a rehab hospital within a hospital. So that's how my unit was. It was an inpatient rehab hospital, but it was really a floor on the hospital, but they called it a hospital, and it was technically a separate hospital from the hospital that it's in. It was so confusing. So it's a floor on the hospital, but whenever you got transferred, whenever we got a patient that was quote unquote transferred from a different floor, it had to be a discharge and an admission into our hospital. So when I was being interviewed, there wasn't an active manager on that unit. There was somebody that was standing in on that unit. And my biggest concern when I was even interviewing for this unit was, am I gonna get any experience? Is this gonna be, is this a good place for a new grad? I wanna get a lot of hands-on experience with lines, with drains, with absolutely everything, with medications. I wanted to get absolutely every kind of experience that I can. I'm a new grad, and I feel like if you guys have been watching for me for a while, you guys know that my biggest thing has always been to get really good at my skills and as a nursing student. So now as a nurse, I just want to perfect absolutely everything. As a new nurse, I don't want to be a year in and not have certain skills or not have done certain things. Like, I wanted to get as much experience as possible. And when I was interviewing, they told me, yes, this is a med-surg floor, we're in a hospital, this isn't just a regular, rehab, this is an inpatient rehab, so you're going to be getting lots of experience in absolutely everything. This is a med-surg floor, and it just happens to have rehab. So that's what I was told during my interview. So I was convinced. I really liked the unit too, and people were really nice. And so I decided to take the offer, and I stopped interviewing at that point. And originally, I didn't know what unit I even wanted to go into. I kind of prayed and just let God pick what unit I was going to be in, and just allow what I felt right to end up just going wherever I felt right. And at that time, I felt like that was the right place for me. So I stopped interviewing at that point. I turned down a couple other calls that I had for other units, and I took that one. So I started there for my orientation, and my first day, I absolutely hated it. Many different reasons for that. But honestly, you guys, being in the inpatient rehab was not for me. I didn't feel like I was learning anything. We didn't look at labs. We didn't look at diagnostic tests. We didn't call a doctor for absolutely anything. We really didn't talk to dietary. We just talked to nobody. It was just, these patients were basically stable, had no lines, had no Foleys. They were stable enough to technically be at home, but they were a little older, so they wanted them to have an inpatient rehab. And I just felt like I was not learning anything. I mean, this is just, of course, like, completely my opinion. There's nothing wrong with an inpatient rehab position. It's just, I felt like as a new nurse, I was not getting the experience that I needed. And my educator would come around, and we had this packet that we have to fill out as a new grad through the hospital. And it's basically your competency and your skills. And everything on there was like blood transfusion, starting an IV, handling a PICC line, giving meds through a PICC line, handling a Foley, handling, codes, code sepsis, code blue, whatever, like just a bunch of stuff. handling blood products. It's just like a million different things. And my educator was like going through it with me, and she's like, do you really get to have a lot of this on this floor? And I was like, to be completely honest with you, we have no lines. Like, we don't even have IVs. I mean, rarely we would have a patient on IV antibiotics, because normally they wanted them to be on PO antibiotics before they got into rehab. So they would discontinue the IV and they would just give them PO antibiotics. So these patients were basically really stable. So I just wasn't going to be able to get a lot of the like skills, the competencies. So she was like, it's funny, my educator was absolutely awesome. She was also brand spanking new. So like, I was talking to her about this, and actually I talked to her after my first day, because we had education classes at this point that we went, and all the new grads that got hired throughout all the hospitals, I've kind of told you guys this before if you've watched my videos, we had like 14 sister hospitals, and we all went to one building to do our education classes. And after my first day, we had an education class, and I kind of talked to her about this, you know, about how I felt being on the unit and how I felt about the actual floor that I was on. And I was trying my hardest not to really come off as unappreciative or not wanting to work hard or being a quitter, because it had only been one day. But I can tell you guys, after my first day, it was just not the place for me. And it didn't really have anything to do with my preceptor or, you know, the nurses I was with. It was just the goals that I had set for myself to learn as a new grad were not going to be met there. You know, I really want to learn how to handle critical patients, how to handle patients that are, you know, declining, and I want to learn all those nursing skills on how to assess and how to know if somebody's going downhill and pick up little things and stuff like that. And the patients on that floor were way too stable that, you know, I would never really be able to assess somebody that has, you know, newly declining symptoms and stuff like that. So I just felt like it wasn't the place for me. And my educator, you know, during that time, she's like, you know, it's okay, you just got to keep pushing, and, you know, I know it's hard sometimes, blah blah blah. And then I think it was a week after, she was talking to me, and she's like, did you want to be in inpatient rehab? Like, was this your goal? You know, was this the unit that you really wanted to be on? And I was like, to be completely honest with you, no, this is more of a, you know, one of the interviews that I had, and what I had been told during my interviews, that this would be a med-surg experience, you know. So I really wanted to get good at my time management skills. So I was completely happy with being in med-surg. I feel like med-surg is an amazing place to learn. I've been in many different units during clinical, and med-surg is probably one of the hardest units that you can be on. So I was really excited to be on med-surg, because you get to experience so many different diagnoses, so many different things. Like, you get to see absolutely everything on a med-surg unit. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, you get to see so much and you learn so much. So I was like, you know what, like, I can definitely do med-surg for the first year or two, and, you know, from then on I can kind of figure out what I want to do. But after med-surg, I'm skilled enough to do anything, you know. So I was kind of telling her that, and she's like, what did you really want to be on? And I was like, originally I wanted to be like an ER or trauma or something more acute care. And she was like, would you be interested if we moved you to a different unit? And I told her, yeah. So she had done some research, and she told me that she was going to talk to the critical care educator to see if maybe I can get switched to a different unit. And at this point, you guys, I was so happy, because like I said, I didn't want to waste my orientation in a unit where I didn't feel like I was learning or benefiting from it. And you guys know me, I don't settle. I like to work hard. I like to learn. I like to be put in difficult situations. Like, I like to be out of my comfort zone, and rehab was just way too comfortable. My camera battery died, so I'm just gonna try to continue where I was leaving off. So yeah, at this point, my critical care educator was looking for another position for me, and then this whole COVID thing happened, so I ended up being in rehab for 5 months. I mean, oh my God, for 5 weeks. Not 5 months, for 5 weeks. And then the weekend came at the end of those 5 weeks, and I got a call from the critical care educator, and she told me that there was a position that was open for me and that I was gonna be moving. And just like that, I mean, the shifts for the rest of the rehab unit that I was on were canceled, and I was put onto a oncology unit. So right now I am at a med-surg oncology unit. So that is the unit that I'm on. I am an oncology nurse. I'm on oncology unit, and you guys, I never ever expected to be on this unit. And she told me that this wasn't particularly a permanent unit for me unless I wanted it to be, and that I could change units if I wanted to. But you guys, I've been on this floor for 3 weeks. I just finished my 2nd week, so I'm starting my 3rd week this week, and the people are absolutely amazing. I have learned so much in the little time that I have been there, and it has been amazing. The nurses are amazing. Everybody is so awesome. Everybody is so helpful. I feel like I learned so much, and they actually moved me from 1 patient to 4 patients in a week. So to say that I have been overwhelmed is an absolute understatement. Oncology is unlike any other floor. These patients require a lot of physical, mental, emotional help, and, you know, attention, and, you know, you're stretched very thin, especially now during these times that, you know, they're not allowed to have their family with them. It's been really hard, and, you know, a lot of them have bad anxiety. I mean, having a cancer diagnosis is hard. It doesn't matter who you are, how long you've had it. You know, if you're newly diagnosed, it's been really hard, and I've been trying to adjust to this unit. And you know, the nurses that I've been with, the preceptors that I've been with, have told me that I'm pretty much independent, and honestly, it's just, I feel like I'm not. I mean, I'm doing the best that I can. I'm a really hard worker, and I've been working really hard nonstop, and honestly, I don't go to lunch till like 4 o'clock every day. I get there at 6:45. I have breakfast at 6. I won't go to lunch until 4. I get off at 6:45-ish if I'm lucky. I mean, 7-ish if I'm lucky. And it's been really hard. It's been really difficult. It's been very difficult. At the end of the day, I feel emotionally, physically drained. You know, I've given so many blood transfusions. It's just been, you know, these patients can go from 0 to 100 so fast. So I have learned to start noticing, you know, when things aren't going right, and, you know, when somebody complains of chest pain, which happened to me last week. I had 2 patients that complained of chest pain, new onset chest pain. I had another patient that spiked 102 fever with 0 white blood cells. And then I had another patient that had just come back from surgery that was in an intense amount of pain. And it was a hard day. It was a very hard day for me. And it's been very hard, you guys. I mean, that's a huge reason why I have been so MIA, because I feel like my channel has been very positive and, you know, very excited. And to be honest, you guys, nursing isn't pretty. It's not a cute it's not a cute job. It's not a cute field. It's not, it's not what it's put out to be on social media. It's not. It's hard. It's really hard. And I feel like I have never in my life worked so hard. Nursing school didn't prepare me for this. Nursing school didn't prepare me for the time management that I would need to have. They didn't prepare me for the workload, the insane workload of using mental and physical and emotional. It's unbelievable, you guys. And, you know, that's a big reason why I have been so MIA, because, you know, I don't want my channel to be filled with, you know, stressful and like negative or anything like that, especially because I'm like a little bit more, I try to be very positive, and I am very hardworking. Like, I wouldn't trade this, you know, I don't want to change fields or anything, because if I can do this, you guys, I know that I can do absolutely anything. So that's why I'm pushing through it, and I am so happy to be on this unit. I never imagined, never, that I would do oncology, ever. And here I am. And I truly believe that everything happens for a reason, since, you know, the first interview that I have that was meant to be a declined. The second, I don't think I've talked about that with you guys. So I had an interview for ER. I had an interview for OR. I had 2 interviews for each. I got to do the first interview, and then I was declined from both of them. I kind of talked about this on my live literally like 30 minutes ago, so I took a quick break, and I was declined from both of those. And then I got the opportunity to get interviewed by inpatient rehab, and then I ended up getting it, and it felt right, to be honest. Like, it felt like that was the place, you know? But little did I know that it was the right path for me, just not the right ending. So I went through inpatient rehab, and I stayed positive through those 5 weeks that I was there. Even though I really felt like that wasn't the place for me, I stayed positive because I know in my heart that everything happens for a reason. And now I'm on this oncology unit with such an amazing support team, such an amazing group of nurses, and I feel like I've learned so much. I'm with one of my friends that I graduated nursing school with, and it's been crazy. I mean, it's been overwhelming, honestly. I want to cry like every day from being so overwhelmed, and I'm so used to being in control and having control of my situation, and in nursing you're just never going to be in control. And it's exciting, it's nerve-wracking, it's crazy, and to be honest, like, I knew nursing was hard, but I had no idea it would be this hard and this draining. And I honestly come home, and sometimes I'm driving home and I'm like, I don't understand how I can possibly do 5 patients. You know, I'm at 4 right now, and I feel like I'm absolutely drowning. And I can't imagine not having, you know, preceptor with me. And they told me that they might extend my internship, since, you know, everything that happened and I wasn't originally on here. But I don't know, you guys. Nursing is really hard, and I feel like this is good for me to talk. I was actually in the middle of like cleaning my room, as you can see. Like, I don't even have sheets on my bed because they're washing. And I decided to, you know what, I was like, let's just record a video and chat, because I don't want to have to think about what I'm going to say. I just want to kind of sit here and talk to you guys and kind of tell you guys exactly how I've been feeling. And, you know, I've been praying so much about, you know, this, and about working, and about not harming my patients, and about being safe, and about, you know, God protecting my patients from my wrongdoing, and God, you know, helping me make the right decision and make sure that I'm being safe, and double check, triple, 80 million check everything that I'm doing so that my patients are safe. Because at the end of the day, like, the nurses aren't following me 100% because they see me as independent. So I don't know. It's been really hard, you guys. It's been really hard. It's been really hard, you know. Nursing is not easy, and this unit is really not easy. And I've really been struggling with my mental health and my motivation sometimes. You know, as soon as I get to work though, I feel like it helps. Like, I get into this, to be honest, I feel like when I get to work, I'm in a different world. Like, I feel like it's not real life. Like, I'm mentally preparing myself for tomorrow because I work tomorrow. And like, to be honest, I feel like I'm preparing myself to like go to a different place, because I feel like it's not real life, because it's like a whole different world in a hospital than it was for me as a student and all that, being a nurse in an oncology. I mean, like, I don't know. It is so hard, but you guys, like, I still love it. I still have my drive and my motivation, and every day I freaking pray, and I'm so thankful for this amazing unit to be on. And I truly believe, you know, I was the type of person where I was like, you know, I'm not going to be in this. I'm going to be doing this in nursing, and this and this and this and this. And to be honest, you guys, like, I thought that I knew my path, but in reality, like, God had his path. You know, God had his plan, and I was just foolishly thinking that I knew what I wanted to do. You know, I feel like you have to have such a heart to do oncology and hospice, because we're also hospice nurses. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know this video is kind of all over, and it's kind of like more of like a mental health chat than anything, but I kind of wanted to teach you guys and kind of let you guys know what unit I'm on and what's been going on and how is it all going, and, you know, kind of let you guys know the truth of like how I'm feeling these past few weeks. But yeah, but thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'd love to chat with you guys down in the comments, but thank you guys so much for watching.